Honestly, I want to take a break. I've been talking about the world for about 8 years, and it's going to probably be 9 or 10 years by the time I'm done. Yeah, I want to take a break and see the world. I've been talking about the world for so long, it's time to actually go out and see it.
This voice belongs to the man behind the YouTube channel Geography Now. It's a fun and informative destination for anyone interested in learning about the countries and territories of the world. The channel has a large and dedicated following with over 3 million subscribers and 400 million views.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you heard me. 3 million subscribers and 400 million views.
Wow.
My name is Barbado, and this is episode 244 of the Radio Vagabond, a travel podcast with slightly less subscribers up until now. Are you ready to meet Paul Barbado?
Sir, yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Meet Barbado, a full-time traveler and digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything, his house, his car, his furniture, and set out on a quest to visit every country in the world, documenting everything along the way. This is the Radio Vagabond.
We are in Armenia, so you'll get this introduction.
Bari galust Radio Vagabond.
Which means welcome to the Radio Vagabond. Each episode of Geography Now focuses on a specific country, providing an in-depth look at its culture, history, geography, and relationships to other countries. Paul Barbado, aka Barbs, started with Afghanistan and is getting closer to the last country, Zimbabwe. What sets Geography Now apart from other educational channels is its approachable and entertaining style. Paul's enthusiasm for his subject is infectious, and he presents complex information in a way that is both engaging and easy to understand. His use of humor and pop culture references adds an element of fun to the learning experience, making it a hit among viewers of all ages.
Yeah, you introduced me. I don't know what to say after that. Barbs from Geography Now.
Yeah, tell me a few words about what is Geography Now.
Geography Now is basically a channel on YouTube, and it covers full informational profiles on every country in the world. We're attempting to do every country in the world. As of right now, I am working on the Turkmenistan episode, so we're almost done. We're going alphabetically from A to Z, and Zimbabwe will be the last country. We cover 4 segments in each episode. We talk about the political geography, the physical geography, the demographics, and what I call the friend zone, which is the diplomatic relations of each country. Yeah,
that's where we have the animation of the countries blinking to each other and sending eyes.
I'm a very visual learner. I can't learn unless I see stuff. Like, I need shiny objects in front of my face all the time. I don't listen to things, I see things. So yeah.
And then he talks fast, so you'll hear me speeding up to match him in the conversation. It's not something I do intentionally, it just happened. Maybe that's why this episode is slightly shorter than the other interviews in this miniseries. But it's you're doing it alphabetically, and earlier this year I was in Tanzania, so that was just a few days after you released the Tanzania episode. And now I've been traveling to Azerbaijan and Armenia and Georgia too. But those 2 countries, they were some of your first countries. Can you say a little bit about how the videos have evolved?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, my first episode was Afghanistan. And back in that day, I think it was like less than 7 minutes long, because I just skimmed all the information very quickly, like, this is the tallest mountain, this is the blah, blah, blah. I don't even think I said what the tallest mountain was in that video. And now, over the years, I've added more segments. Like, now we have a food segment, we have a sports segment, we have a music segment, and because the subscribers asked for it. So the channel's evolved over the years. It's added more segments, and I have co-hosts now, and just the format has changed a little bit, and now the videos are much longer. So I feel bad for the earlier episodes, especially Armenia. It's not a very long. I gotta maybe do a video to, or maybe I gotta do something about the earlier episodes.
And one thing that's funny is that you're in the T's now, and your own country's coming up soon.
Yeah, I have to wait for my own country. Yeah, it's nobody gets a special privilege. Everybody has to follow the alphabetical order. That's the rule. I don't want anybody fighting. Oh, why don't you choose my country? Why don't you? And it's like, nope. There's an alphabet. I'm following it. Done. UN countries, and then we'll talk about the other stuff later. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm going to take a quick break.
God damn it.
Because I have a tip for you.
Okay.
If you want to save money, use the Radio Vagabond sponsor, Hotels25.com. It will get you the best price on a place to stay. Hotels25.com.
Mr. Bond.
Radio Vagabond.
My travel buddy, Cynthia, is joining us in this conversation. She's a Florida-based lawyer who travels a lot and has been to 131 countries so far. And in the last 12 months, we've been doing trips together. One to Saudi Arabia, one to Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Sao Tome and Principe, and this one to Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia. Every time we were about to go into a new country, and that's been 8 times this year, we would watch one of his videos.
Absolutely. In fact, it is the Radio Vagabond who introduced me to you, and I must have watched the Togo episode at least half a dozen times.
It's time to learn geography.
Now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbs. So for a while, I've been kind of low-key super fascinated with Togo. It's so small. And the best part, there are almost no annoying groups of tourists ruining it. Yet. I had to see this place for myself before making the episode. I had to go to Togo. Welcome to the Voodoo Coast.
Right before we went to Togo, and we were in Togo a couple of months ago, I kept watching particularly reruns just of the part of Togo where you ran across 3 countries, one of which you entered illegally, is my understanding. Burkina Faso, which is complicated on our passports and complicated generally. So I'm on a U.S. passport as well. And it was just so funny to watch you run across those 3 countries. We never made it to that part of the country, and I'm kind of sorry we didn't, because I would have walked it. I wouldn't have run it. But
Yeah, that video, tell me a little bit how that came about, because normally when you do a video, you don't go to the country.
Yeah, obviously you can. It's expensive, so like I don't always
tell me about it.
Right. I mean, these people have gone to every country of the world. It's like, wow, how do you afford all that? They have all their little tricks, and I just make videos right now. Sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, the running across.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, and how it came about.
Yeah, because I'm obsessed with border demarcation lines,
like weird borders.
Yeah, or like enclaves, exclaves. To me, that fascinates me. It fascinates me more than trying to get to every country of the world. I want to see all the weird ways how people have divided this world. I want to go to the strange administrative divisions that make no sense, or the autonomous regions of a country that are technically self-proclaimed, but they're not really. It's, to me, the way how humans create their own domain in this world is fascinating, and stuff like that. The salient thing that drives me crazy. I'm like, well, I got to see that. It means nothing to the people living there. And when I'm running, you see these kids are like looking, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, let's just explain the border. It's in the northern part of Togo.
Burkina Faso on top, 130 meters of Togo, and then at the bottom Ghana. And they call it the V. It's called the narrowest 3-country salient in the world. If you get access to Burkina Faso, you can stop at this bridge right here at the narrowest part of the V and run across 3 countries all at once, which I did and documented. It was awesome.
So you didn't have a visa to go to Burkina Faso?
No, yeah. Basically, we saw the border, and it's just a rope. Like, it's literally just a rope. But the Burkina Faso guards are right there. They're like, nope, you can't go past this rope. We actually went to the V. I actually crossed it, and I documented it, and Gilles was there.
Well, the kids was there.
Yeah, the kids were following. The Togolese border guard, he helped us. Because they were like, oh, no, you can't go into Burkina Faso. But then Gilles was like, let's see if we can, like, convince.
There's always a way.
There's always a way.
That was intense
that
day.
And you had a local friend who says anything is possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the best. If you have a local with you, anything is possible. Like, you have to have the people from the country if you go to a country. Like, I got my Armenia guy right here.
Yeah, the voice that you heard in the beginning.
He knows Armenia. I'm probably gonna like say, hey, you lead the way. I'm just gonna follow. And when I was in Togo, basically, my guy talked to the Togolese border guards, and he's like, look, can we just like quickly go to this bridge in Burkina Faso? We're not even going to try to go to Burkina Faso. We just want to go to the bridge because the bridge starts in Burkina Faso. And then the Togolese guards were like, okay, maybe if you just take a little bit of a bribe, we'll let you go through.
Buy me a soda.
Yeah. Just it wasn't that much. I mean, because in exchange rate, whatever. But yeah, they escorted us into Burkina Faso. So we have like this car in front of us, car in back of us, and we just follow. They bring us to the bridge. And then I kind of sheepishly say to the guard, I'm like, can I run? Can I? They're like, yeah, go ahead. So it's a mixture of a little bit of a bribe and a little bit of charisma, how you say it to the border guards.
So that video was one of the rare occasions where you were actually in the country, but it's become a thing that you would like to have a local or a co-host from that country.
Ideally, for every country, yes. It's kind of hard for certain other countries, but it would be so good if I could just have somebody from each country in each country episode. That's my ideal situation.
Yep, and like recently you did Solomon Islands, and that is a small country.
Yeah.
But you found one.
Yeah, only like 500,000-ish in the whole world, and they don't really leave their country very often. It's expensive, and most people there are a little bit under the poverty level. So, one of them was studying in Sacramento. I was so lucky. One of my subscribers said, hey, I'm not from the Solomon Islands, but I know a guy, and if you want, I can reach out to him. Sometimes it's like a second, third, fourth degree level connection to a subscriber. Yeah. So it's like, they're not from there, but they know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy from there. So it's just this game of connecting the dots to get somebody from there.
Good luck with Vanuatu.
That's actually that might be possible. I think I got some people over there, so we'll see. And sometimes when I travel to a country, I get recognized by people. Like, even in San Marino, I got recognized by 2 people. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know if they were from San Marino, like some Marinese people, but hey, they're on San Marino. Like, okay.
Coming up later in this episode.
Did Paul set off doing Geography Now planning to have 3 million subscribers and making it a full-time job? And what's going to happen when he makes his final video from Zimbabwe? That's in a minute when the program continues.
And now, email from a listener.
This one is from Spanish Berta, who wanted to let me know that she and her boyfriend were inspired by my episodes from Cape Town and the Garden Route. She writes, Hi Palle, don't ask me how we found your podcast, but we did just in time, as we, my boyfriend and me, are finishing a 2-month Cape Town stay, working and exploring the city and surroundings, with 3 days on the Garden Route from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth and back. Just letting you know that I love your podcast, and it was just a copy-paste of your trip, of tons of memories that we lived in the last 2.5 months. I'd be more than excited to hear from you. Have a good one. Cheers, Berta. Thanks so much, Berta. As I already told you, I'm glad to hear from you, and super stoked that you were inspired.
You can also send a few lines to Barbado and get featured on the show. Tell him where you are and what you're doing right now as you're listening to these words. Just click on Contact on theradiovagabond.com and fill out the form. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
In addition to its main series, Geography Now also offers bonus episodes on various topics such as geography of food, flags, or the history of cartography. These episodes provide a deeper look at specific aspects of geography and allow Paul and his team to delve more into specialized subjects. So, Paul, when you started the channel, when you did the Afghanistan episode, did you think that it was going to get to this level? Were you thinking, oh, this could be my job at some point, or was it just for fun?
I wasn't sure. I was kind of hoping for it, but I had a very low expectation. I'm like, it would be great if this could be my job, but even if it doesn't work and I don't make money, I'm still going to do it because I want to make videos on every country of the world and share it because it's what I like doing. If I get a job out of it, great, but either way, I'm still going to do it. I was hoping, though. I was kind of hoping, and it came true.
Yeah. And I just checked the numbers, 3.03 million subscribers, 557 videos, and now it is your full-time job.
Yes, it is. It's my full-time job.
And then you get to Zimbabwe, not in the distant future. What then?
Yeah, this is the most common question I ever get. What are you going to do when you're done with Zimbabwe? Honestly, I want to take a break. I've been talking about the world for about 8 years, and it's going to probably be 9 or 10 years by the time I'm done. Yeah, I want to take a break and see the world. I've been talking about the world for so long, it's time to actually go out and see it. Like, that's my goal, I guess.
But don't you still have to feed the channel?
Yes, I do. So, YouTube's algorithm says you have to upload at least once every 6 months to keep the channel alive. So, I'll still upload content, but it just won't be 30-minute long, heavy, informational country episodes. It'll probably be more topical or more documentary-based.
Yeah. So you're still going to bring a camera when you go visiting countries and be like Gus?
Yeah, actually, I was about to say that. I kind of want to be more like Gus. I want to, my friend Gus on the Go, follow him on YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff too. Hey,
he's by the way, he's sitting right here. Hi, Gus.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, he's I consider him one of my closest friends, and he's really cool. He does travel videos, and I'm so jealous of him. Like, literally, he's doing what I want to when I finish Geography Now. Yeah. He's at, I think, 180 countries, 181? 180.
And
so
he's only just turned 30.
Yeah,
he's like a baby.
He's just turned 30. He's so young and so good looking. He's ready to take on the world. and he's I believe he's going to be the first Faroese person to go to every country in the world.
Let me just interrupt here. Gus is the Danish Faroese travel YouTuber that we had as a guest right here a few weeks ago. If you haven't heard that one yet, please go back and do that when you are done with the one with Barbs. And Paul says he wants to be more like Gus, and I do believe that he's already kind of doing it. He started doing episodes that he calls Geo Go, and since I met him, he's actually done one from Armenia. These are also incredible. I share the one from Armenia on the blog post for this episode on the radiovagabond.com. Yeah, Paul Barbado is already traveling quite a bit, and the first country he visited in Europe was in fact the country where Gus and I were born.
Yeah, it was my first country, and I will admit, I have a soft spot in my heart for Denmark. There's something about it. It's the hygge. It's the when you go to Copenhagen, just all the buildings, the 5-story tall buildings and the apartments, and it's charming, and they're just comfortable. They're just comfortable, and all these countries have some kind of weird problem or whatever. But in Denmark, it's like you're just comfortable, you know. Yeah. Some other countries might have bigger landmarks or crazier things to look at, but in Denmark, you just feel like you could have a home.
but and I know I've had that.
Yeah.
Did you manage to get outside of Copenhagen?
Well, I've been to Greenland, which is a constituent of Denmark, but
I mean around the country, because a lot of people go to Denmark and only go to Copenhagen, which not being from Copenhagen, I feel is a bit of a shame.
The furthest I've gone outside of Copenhagen on the actual land country of Denmark was Helsingør, and then I crossed over to Helsingør, Sweden. So that's the furthest I've gone. Yeah.
Come back and I'll show you around.
Sure, yeah. What do you recommend in Denmark besides Copenhagen?
Oh, so much. I recommend that just drive around the country and get all the way to the northern tip of Denmark, Skagen, which is a stunning place.
Yeah, actually, I want to climb Møllehøj, your tallest mountain. You know, it's 103 something meters, or I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna plant my flag on top of it.
Yeah.
This is the Radio Vagabond, a podcast from the digital nomad too cool to ask for directions.
How many U.S. states have you done?
I believe my number is 33. I'm not even trying to get all 50. It just happened over the course of my life. I think the states I've missed are like the Northwest, like Montana and Idaho and North Dakota. But I've pretty much done every other state after that. Yeah. So, yeah.
She's done 50. I've only done 48.
You're not even American, and you beat me.
But actually, I have been to North Dakota, and normally that's the state people go to last. And if you do it the last, they give you a free T-shirt in the nearest tourist office where it says "Save the best for last."
For North Dakota.
Yeah.
See, one thing about North Dakota, I think you actually might find this interesting, and you probably already know this. They have a huge Norwegian population.
Yeah.
And they have even like the Nordic style church Norwegian.
Yeah.
That I want to see.
A big Viking ship that they actually built and sailed all the way to Norway.
Wait, to the U.S.? Oh, I didn't.
No, they built it in North Dakota, and then they sailed it to Norway.
Oh, they sailed it to Norway.
Now it's back in North Dakota.
Okay. See, that's stuff like that. Stuff like that. I mean, even North Dakota has something. Come on.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
And Fargo is a great city. And they have a wood chipping machine.
From the movie. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the guy got...
There, and there's a leg sticking out.
I've seen one of my subscribers sent me a postcard from North Dakota, and that was it, like the wood chipper, and I'm like, aha, I get the reference, yeah.
So when you're going to start traveling more, do you have anything that is highest on the list?
Oh my goodness, I have so many spots. So I hate places that have too many people. So I'm a little bit anaclophobic, which means I don't like huge crowds. I like to go where it's a little remote and I have everything for myself and nobody can bother me. And I especially like things nobody's done, like the 3-country salient. Mm-hmm. If nobody's done it, I like it and I want to do it. Or if very few people have done it. So I think one of the places on top of my list is the Aneri Tibesti Plateau in northern Chad. Definitely want to check that out. Super far away from N'Djamena, the capital. You have to take like a 2-day car drive into sand dunes and rocks that have no roads, and but it looks so amazing and beautiful. Mm-hmm. Definitely want to go to Kerguelen Island, French overseas territory, which was actually the inspiration for one of my fake April Fool's videos, Limberwisk. I took the island and I flipped it upside down, and that was the fake country of Limberwisk, Kerguelen Island. And they have these really weird endemic cabbage plants that you can actually eat, and they grow on that. It's Antarctic, but they grow. There's natural cabbage growing on the island. I want to try that. And speaking of Antarctica, there's also I think it's called Deception Island. It's a volcanic island in Antarctica, and there's hot springs. It's in Antarctica, but there's hot springs. It's crazy. There's the only place in Russia I'm really interested in possibly visiting, even though politically now it's a little complicated. Chukotka, the furthest, oblast or autonomous oblast in the furthest part that's right across from Alaska. If it's probably not going to... I don't know if it's possible. I'm going to really see if I could try to do this, but I want to go to Caroline Island, the furthest eastern island in the world. It's right by the plus 14 time zone in the ocean. It's the first island to start the day every day. Yeah.
And Cynthia, you're such an avid traveler with 131 countries right now. Any surprises here?
Kind of an interesting choice for Americans. Interestingly, we usually go to Europe for the first time because that's what we're taught in school probably. So this is a really interesting choice, but that's because of your really extensive background in the world. I would give you a couple of suggestions, perhaps, on places that have very few people. I would start with Montana, interestingly.
Our own country, yeah.
Interestingly, yes. It's called Big Sky Country. There's hardly any people in the entire state, and it's massive.
True.
And then we were just at what's called the center of the world. We were at Sao Tome and Principe.
Uh-huh.
And
made a great video on that.
Yeah, you may want to put that on your list as well. Okay. So we were just there a couple of months ago. Fantastic. And Principe is almost unknown, but the Portuguese, we flew in with a guy from the Portuguese government, and they're talking about running direct charter flights and putting resorts in on Principe. So if you want to get there before there are people, go the next 2 years.
Starting to get popular.
Yeah, soon.
And I've so many people said to both of us, when you're going, you have to get to Principe. We didn't manage to, but some people say that it's stunning place. Yeah. Did you go, Gus?
You went to both. He went to both.
Both islands,
yeah. Yeah, he's got it locked down.
Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure finally seeing you in 3D, not in 2D like I normally do. And
it's an honor too, man. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And can't wait to see you do some travel videos as well. Thank you.
Let's wait for Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Overall, Geography Now is a valuable resource for anyone looking to learn more about the diverse and fascinating countries of the world. Whether you're a student, a teacher, or someone with a love of geography, this channel has something to offer. Thank you so much to Barbs, and I'm serious, I'd love to show you around Denmark someday.
Next week on the Radio Vagabond.
We have one more episode from Armenia coming up in a few days. That one is from a remarkable traveler. And I don't think that I'm offending any of my other guests saying that I've saved the best for last. In fact, I'm sure they'd all agree. Tony Giles is well-traveled. He'd been to 128 countries when I met him in October. But that's not what makes him unique.
Yeah, so I'm Tony Giles. I'm 44 years old, and I happen to be totally blind and 80% deaf in both ears. and I spent the last 25 years or so traveling the world alone.
Did you hear that? He's 100% blind and 80% deaf in both ears. But that doesn't stop him from seeing the world, traveling solo. You can hear why he does that and how it's even possible. You'll be blown away. With that, I'd like to say a very happy Christmas to you. This one is published on December 25th, but then you might hear it in a few months. So in that case, I hope you have a wonderful summer.
We will now be arriving at the end of this installment of the Radio Vagabond. Please stand clear of the closing doors.
My name is Barbado. See ya.
Radio Vagabond.
Produced by radioguru.co.uk.